Hey everybody, what's up? Today I am happy to have on, I think I always say the word happy, but today I am really excited to have on a kid who's managed a ton of my money doing Facebook advertising for us. And actually he came to us, and I'll talk with him about that story, but he managed quite a bit of my money and took the initiative, came to me, and now not because of me, but because of himself, is very successful. So with that, we'll get the show started. Hey, Kevin, what's up?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. What all you got behind you there?
I have a, you know those desks that convert from like standing to sitting desks?
Oh, yeah?
And so that just sits on top of a normal desk, and it's a remote controlled, it's remote controlled, and it goes up and down. And so just super easy to adjust. I've been standing when I work, and it's actually been a lot better for me recently.
Man, I should try that.
Yeah, definitely. So I issues, and so I kind of have to like mix it up.
Yeah, and then what do you got? Rock Band in the back there?
That is, an electronic drum set of mine. So I don't know.
Really?
I don't know if you can hear that, but
wow, I can hear it a little bit.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. So what have you been up to? Do you have a good 4th of July weekend?
Yeah. I had way too much fun.
Yeah.
And what's that?
You still recovering?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Today's been not a very good day, but I'll be all right.
Awesome. So I was explaining to people in the intro that I met you really through, you were working in Denver.
Yep.
And we were there, I think we were there for Scott Richter's Media Breakaway. Well, I know I was there.
Yeah. I remember you came through town, and you went to his office, I think. And I think you were working on ringtone stuff at the time, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that but yeah, and so I think I met you at Richter's office. I'm trying to think if that was before or after, because I met you one time really early on, and this actually might have been the first time we met. It was at a conference you were speaking at. It was Affiliate Summit, one of the summits. I don't remember which one. And you were doing a presentation, I think a slide that was about Facebook marketing.
Yeah. Yep.
And you scanned through one of my ads. It was the classic, our old girl. Yeah.
Yep.
So she's made us a lot of money.
Right.
So you scanned through that ad, and I was like, I came up to you after you were talking, and I was like, bro, you outed my ad. I was like, come on, man. Like, I wasn't really pissed. And then, you wanted to, what's that?
For those listening or watching, the whole presentation was about, my stats and everything we were finding. And it was that, like, I basically broke it down to like, I don't know, like 75% was the picture. And then headline was next, and then description was last.
Absolutely.
And I did all this testing, not only with Facebook stuff, with just little things too. I mean, where basically I could put Korean writing, and average to and have that same image and have the same results. I mean, so yeah, so Kevin came up and was like, hey, it's an image that, but it was very, did you originally, like, how did you come across that image? And for those, again, like, background is Kevin's a Facebook expert at doing Facebook advertising. He spent a lot of my money doing it, and we can talk about that later. Is that, if you care if we bring that up?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
But we're referring to the girl known as the gray shirt girl, who was a girl that was used as an image for dating ads back then. So were you the one that discovered this hidden talent?
I can't remember if it was Jay or me. Jay was one of my former partners. And back then, like half of our job, we were just scouring the internet, for pictures. Cause like you said, pretty much success is based on having a good picture. So, we're just spending hours crawling through random sites, for pictures. And, I can't remember if it was me or him that dug it up, but yeah, I mean, she wasn't particularly attractive by conventional standards, but I think that was partly why she did so well, is because she was almost obtainable,
Right. The crazy thing is that my sister-in-law looks almost identical to her.
Word.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's quite.
Yeah, I mean, she's my sister-in-law, so I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Doesn't have as big of assets, okay,
Sure.
as the Gracer girl, but yeah, I mean, but in the face looks just like her. So
that's funny.
It is funny.
Wow.
And people have tried to replicate that, and it's interesting. I mean, that image indirectly, directly has to be attributed to tens of millions of dollars in gross revenue.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone has her, permission to use her image and likeness and everything.
Oh, totally. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I got her personal permission.
Yeah, that is so funny. So anyway, I went to this, dude, the media breakaway thing had to be before that Philly Summit, because that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, that was, yeah. It's like,
I mean, we're 2000.
Yeah, about 8 years.
That had to
2008.
Had to have been 2008 or 9.
Yeah, it was 8 or 9, because that was around that time when I was living in Boulder. So yeah, it had to be 08 or 9.
Yeah, because I think you were working for Shitface.
Yeah, Dennis Pooh.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't gonna say his name, but yeah, you know what's funny is he's speaking at Philly Summit in New York.
No way.
He is.
They still let him in?
I want to be like super respectful of affiliates.
Yeah.
But I talked briefly with some people there about it, and they asked if I still had a big issue with them. And I said, I still get contacted by people, but, I have no personal, I always tell those people that contact me, look, write about it. If you want to send me your story, I'll post it. And then they never do. So, there was one lady who's, I think honestly, like, I don't even know if this is his fault, to be honest. She is absolutely insane. She was talking to me about there being a class action lawsuit against Dennis because a bunch of people in San Diego went to this event and got taken, like he scammed them. And so I was like, wow, I was like, wow, this would be really interesting. And so I was like, shit, I'll freaking post and say, hey, is anyone else want to jump on this class action? Well, in asking her more and more stuff, she would write a book every time she responded. And she's just that 1%. That's absolutely crazy.
Sure.
So I don't know. But anyway, so he's speaking at Philly Summit. I think, as much
East, Philly Summit East?
Yeah. Yep.
In New York in July, this month.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there. Maybe I'll see him.
Yeah. I mean, remember the last time he was going to speak, like I I was on the same panel and I said, that's fine. I'm going to ask him questions though about,
Yeah.
like, and then I don't know
Juju.
how it happened, if he did it or I don't know how that happened, but he
Yeah.
wasn't on it anymore. But yeah, I talked to some people at Philly Summit and they just, asked me, not that I'm need to be okay with it, but I think
Sure.
they didn't want, well, I think it was just a mutual thing. You know what? And I talked to them about a lot of speakers, because
Sure.
they'll have
Sure.
people submit stuff. And this isn't a special case about him. The only reason I brought it up was because we had talked about Dennis Yu. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it does. My blog still ranks for that. And I'm still amazed by that, actually.
I know. I know. That's a pretty lucrative post for you.
Yeah, my blog SEO has gone to complete crap, yet it still ranks really well. Like I've had so many people tell me, like, dude, you jacked up the SEO in your blog so much. I'm like, man, I don't even care anymore. Like
Yeah.
I write the blog. I always told people when I started the blog, I don't care about SEO. I don't care about that crap. It's just a place for me to write and whatever. So
Sure.
I don't know if we're ever going to get out of this part because you're like, dude, what are we going to talk about? And then it's like freaking 20 minutes just to say how we met. We keep that.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's funny.
So yeah, so I go. That was the first time I ever met George Avery in person, and
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, and so Dennis had talked to me, and that he was doing all this stuff for these big brands, and actually he like wrote this like training course for me, just like absolutely free, and did all
Oh yeah. Was that? Yeah. Yeah. It was like some like ninja type guide,
some
right?
training. Yeah, it was like shoemoneytraining.com or something. I forget
Yeah.
a playbook or something. I forget what we did.
Yep.
I mean, he did
Right.
almost that entire thing.
Yeah. That was a lot of content, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good stuff. And I was really surprised, like he just did it all for nothing. And
Yeah.
and then like shortly after, well, it seemed like very so then I don't know, like you were working with him or whatever, but
Yeah.
we met and you guys were doing some stuff but needed some cash flow
Pretty much. Yeah.
to really explode. And so I don't know where you guys were at, but I mean we were spending decent tens of thousands a day on my credit card. And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the peak of what we were doing when we had, I mean, I think we had like a bunch of countries going, so yeah,
it was like 70-ish was like as high as we went ish.
yes, I mean that sounds right. We had a couple of really big days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was like one weekend that we had a really crazy weekend.
And since then I've had several, and I actually thought about, well, I guess that in a second, but I've had probably 7 other guys I've done similar deals with we did with you, where they just had it going. They just didn't have the cash flow because those out there listening know that sometimes you don't, when you're an affiliate, you're selling other people's products, you're spending the money up front to make them money, and then they pay you like 90 days later, 30 days later, whatever. So you got to turn that cash around. And so a lot of affiliate networks now will float you cash, like basically do well. But what I did is I would just split the profit. So you have to be really obviously trusting. I mean, like if I were to tell people how I did this thing with Kevin,
yeah, just like a handshake.
that's just, I mean, like I've done so many things that people are just like, what the hell, dude? Like that wasn't a couple of dollars,
No, yeah.
I wonder how much we spent total. We had to come close to $1 million. Couldn't that last?
We had to have.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't even know. I think we were dealing with some Russians we were getting paid from, or some. I forgot who it was. I remember the company name, and I don't know if they're around anymore. Are they?
The Russian bride thing?
No, no.
There's a Russian bride offer that I've seen around. That's why I said that.
No, back then didn't it start with a Z, or what was the? Way back then. Zeus, yeah. Are they even around?
Yeah, I still work with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So back then, Zeus, I think they just received a round of funding or something, and they gave us crazy high payouts. And so that was also around the same time when Zeusk was doing. Do you remember they were doing TV commercials?
Mm-hmm.
And they got T-Pain to appear in one of the commercials. So Zeusk was blowing tons and tons of marketing money, like, way much more than they should. And yeah, we were obviously getting some of that, but yeah, so they expanded their marketing budget way too quickly, and then I think after our run with them, they kind of had to completely like turn around, and rethink about what they're doing, and now they're kind of in a better position again, and they're doing pretty well.
Well, I think it's kind of like if you look at a lot of companies that were made by affiliates and they got to terminal velocity.
Yep.
Like, I mean, even people laugh when I say like Amazon was built by affiliates, but it was.
Yeah, totally.
They created the technology where anyone can make their own store.
It still is.
Yep.
It still is being held up by affiliates.
Yeah, and even though they've lowered drastically the cookies, the payout thresholds, I still do well with the affiliate program with Amazon just because of my book, and because people like click to like buy my book or just to look at it, and then like within the next week they buy a bunch of shit. So I got the one the other day was for like this $2,800 grill. I got my like 6%. And I was like, okay, that works. Yeah. So
pay for a couple beers.
It's cool. It's fun, just to get credited. I just always credit my Amazon account. Anyway.
Sure.
So yeah. So Kevin, how long have you been doing Facebook ads?
I mean, when I met you in 08, 09, back when we were just talking about that story, that was pretty much my first run in with Facebook ads. I've been doing it for only maybe about 6 months before I met you. And I just, something I taught myself while I was working for Blitz Local. And it just kind of clicked right away, and when you just kind of stumble on something that for some reason you're good at. Right. And yeah, so 08, I guess. So.
You guys were really good at that, and I'm sure you still are. The funny thing was, like, I would go in and like try to duplicate, even though you were doing it for me, but I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna fuck around with this. I'd do exactly and I'd fucking lose money. Like you guys just had it down. You guys were really good at it. And now, like over the years, I'll find these little holes in Facebook ads. Like,
I've been pretty impressed with your with your findings.
I'll tell you what, that last thing is now working again, but I'm seeing like a different ROI based on different things. But anyway,
definitely
Facebook,
a cool trick.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that thing has been running for 3 weeks now, maybe. Yeah, 3 weeks at $200 a day, and it's never been paused. Nothing.
Yeah,
so it's
that's awesome.
Yeah, if it doesn't get banned or I get in trouble for it, then after I've made a bunch of money, I'll share exactly.
Perfect.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I want to tell people exactly. Like, I've shown a couple people, like you, and like, there's some people I was talking to. We went on this trip to the British Virgin Islands. It was me and John Chow and Robin, who owns Go Social, and other people I didn't really know, like some Moog people. That and there was only 8 of us, and we chartered this mega yacht. And so basically, one of the girls there was kind of like, she goes to like all these things and she buys into like the coaching programs and the, she was on one of my shows. She was on the first one, Carolina. Cool. Very cute, very attractive Brazilian, not Brazilian, Chilean girl. And, yes. And so I've actually tried to work with her about branding herself. She does really well for herself, by the way. She does 6 figures a year.
That's awesome.
I know, but she's like so glued on like the war room at, Digital Marketer, and she pays for all this coaching and stuff. And I'm like, come on, you're killing me. And so Anyway, me digressing. We have this room on Facebook called the SS Chow. And it was because like when we went on this trip, evidently John had told them that he was treating us to the trip.
Oh, really?
So it's become this really big joke where we call it like the SS Chow mentoring cruise, or I forget what we call it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got this little chat between us. And so I showed a screenshot of how I was paying like I think I pasted a screenshot in my regular Facebook too. But I'm about $1. For the last 10 days, I'm at $1.20 per double opt-in. And
nice.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
I know. It's so cheap. So
yeah. You can't tell too many people. Otherwise, you know, I don't know. You might get hit with the hammer.
I mean, look what happened to us, and it wasn't even that big a deal, but it cost.
Yeah.
I mean, it cost us thousands of dollars a day in profit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just absolutely.
Freaking asshole.
Yeah. Don't tell Dennis what you're doing.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Man. I explained to Affiliate Summit way back in the day because they were like, "Why are you so like completely Nazi against this guy?" And I said, "Okay, here's what happened." And I'm like, "This guy probably cost me, I don't know, thousands a day in just profit."
Yeah. Yep.
And we weren't even doing anything. They just made he was pissed. He was pissed because you weren't doing it for him anymore. You weren't making money. And now you were making the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was that sucked. I remember that when it came through. But it was a great experience.
Yeah, totally. Everything worked out for us in the end.
I mean, and then like I said, I've had like, I want to say like, it's probably been more. I know at least 5 off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's been more of people that have come to me with similar situations. And I'm trying to think, like I had one guy who said he was good at native ads. Never met this guy. He was on Stack That Money forums.
Yep, I've been there.
Yeah. He messaged me, and because I had a investment thing on my thing where I talked about investing, and then I took it off because I just kept getting pitched like all the time.
Sure.
But and the thing is, for me, like if you've already got a business plan, we're probably not going to be a good fit, right? Because I mean, like I want somebody that doesn't really have, like myself, right? Who I like, if I have to stop what I'm doing to make a business plan to go raise money, then you know that's not going to work. So. Yeah. I'd rather just people like literally he messaged me. He said, "I'm doing native ads for this offer. Here's what it might click through. Here's my thing. And he's like, you had talked about you fund people before, you know, blah." And I said, okay, I made an account. I capped it at like $300 a day. And we used my, where was the offer at? I think it was ClickBooth. And, you know, of course I got a higher payout than them like right away. And so we both had logins to it and we split the profit, same deal. And then let's see, that was like 6 months ago, and it's not a lot. I mean, it's good. It's peak. It's been like $500 on my end and his end profit.
Yeah.
Nothing
wrong with that.
Yeah. And so we have bi-weekly payouts, which is good. How that industry has changed. It just like, remember, it used to be forever to get paid, and then all of a sudden,
like net 60.
Yeah, and if you're big enough, like if you're big enough and you're working with like Jason Active over Ads for God,
yep,
he'll let you use his credit card. I mean, literally, like he'll float you the cash.
That's smart.
Guys, he's got to do that. But my point is that like this guy went from like a private message to me. I'd never met him. I didn't even know what country he was. I told him to add me on Skype. I made accounts. The screenshots look good. And I mean, what's the worst that happens? I mean, he blows a couple $100 of mine versus the upside. So I mean, like I'm so far ahead on doing this that, you know, so I've done this with other people. The other ones haven't worked out as well. I haven't lost money, but it just wasn't worth it. And every time it's always, these guys have always made enough money to where they could go out on their own. They're like, okay, we've made enough to support it ourselves now. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I've actually thought about doing this, but I'm kind of working on my legacy now. And I feel like I'm kind of like retired. And it sounds weird. It might sound egotistical, but like, what left do I have to achieve? You know? And so I've got two little girls that are 10 and 8 now. I love hanging out with, I love doing stuff with, and I just can't, you know, I've won like every award. I've done this, I've won fucking major things and
Sure.
whatever. I've had an incredible run. I put away a bunch of cash. And so now I'm like retired. And then I came up with that fucking ninja thing and it blew up. And but my thing is like, so I came up with this other idea, which would probably work really well, which is like, I mean, like, I know like Crimea River if it worked, but like my idea was there's this guy, I want to say his name's Larry Levin, but I'm not sure that might be some other name I have in my head.
Okay.
But he advertises during radio shows. And what he says is that he, like, basically he'll teach you how to trade stocks, okay, to be successful. Mm-hmm. And the reason he does it is because he wants to give you his money. If you show him that you're doing what he says to do and you're doing well at it, he will fund you.
Cool.
So I thought about like, what if, you know, like you see where I'm going with this, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And because I've got people, like you could be a testimonial of
hey, I would gladly be a testimonial.
I mean, literally, I could say with everything combined, I've funded over $1 million I've loaned to other people stuff, and they spent over $1 million of my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that would be really an interesting value proposition.
It is an interesting value proposition, and it's funny because it doesn't seem like you were really seeking out to do it. It kind of found you,
Right.
You know? And so it's like, hey, this is working out for me. Why not go with it?
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. So I have some basic questions that people wrote in to me about. If you don't mind, we talk about Facebook advertising, and people are always like, sometimes people get pissy and are like, you're not teaching me how to make money, which reminds me of my blog, like for when it was the most successful. And then blogs Facebook came out, and then blogs, I still write every once in a while, but mostly it's this. I like to do this more. Yeah. So people were like, you know, and I'm just like, look, this isn't, I like to share things, and, you know, like this show is about bringing on successful marketers. And I don't say like, hey, what's your background? Can you tell us how you started? What's your biggest tip to help people get started? And because, you know, you can Google that. You can Google Kevin Weiner. Okay. And you can, you know, and you can listen to the 100 other interviews he's done on his biggest tips to do stuff. But with that in mind, I mean, do you still use kind of the same methodology on images and testing that you used to, or how much have things changed since, you know, in the last decade that you've been doing this?
So the details have changed, but overall at, you know, high level strategy, it's pretty much the same. The biggest difference is it's all everything's kind of just like moved to like CP, you know, just conversion optimized bidding, you know, like Google, Facebook. There's a lot of engines that have CPA bidding, and you know, so the technology surrounding these mediums is just drastically getting better. And so, you know, if the technology is improving, you know, just it's good for everybody. And so, yeah, so overall the strategy is the same, but now there's just more options.
So but you think it's like more like do it for me?
Yes and no. There is some of that, and but if you rely too much on that, then things can get stale. You know what I mean? You gotta still stay on top of it. So if you're good at it, you won't rely on it too much. You know what I mean?
Right. So okay. So Because like people think I'm like a Facebook advertising guru. Okay, like here's
Yeah.
the thing, like Kevin is. I mean, I've fallen into my little things that I know how to do, but
Yeah, you're still good. You know what you're doing.
I find my things sometimes, and sometimes I waste a bunch of money. But that's I think anyone who I always call that the price of education. It's
Oh
just
yeah, I mean, hey, data is worth money, you know.
yeah, it's just like I didn't go
So
to college, so like
I'm
good luck
a
finding.
drop. I'm a dropout.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good luck finding a class that's going to show you how to run an effective Facebook campaign next semester.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, even if they tried, everything by tomorrow, everything would be outdated and nothing would would be relevant. You know what I mean? Because things are changing,
Right.
every week, constantly. So,
And people,
yeah,
this is where I was going at the beginning of this is people, they always ask me like, should I run this, like for this target audience, this. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what I do. Cause I never tell people what to do. It's like my big
yeah,
that I kind of live
sure.
by is like, okay, if I had what you have, do you have a customer list? Okay, great. If you do, then make a lookalike to that, see how that does, and
Hmm.
then try that different. I'm like, if you have, you're gonna need time, and I don't mean just time to work. I'm like time to be patient because that's my biggest fault is I get impatient and then I blow $500 on something.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because as soon as you have an idea or you want to post something up, you want to get the data coming in as quick as you can. You know what I mean? And so it's hard for me to be patient too, man. I get it.
Right. But I mean, like people are like, should I optimize for conversion? Should I do placements on these places and all this? And I'm like, yes, like
Yeah,
you
try it.
you should do one of all of the above
Yeah.
and just don't go crazy with money. Just spend.
Yep.
There's a guy I know who spends $5 a day on Twitter and Facebook, but he does a new like he just promotes his posts and builds his list, and he spends
Yeah.
$5 a day. And I was looking at what he was doing. I don't know how effective it is, but I mean, he's built a good list that he makes good money off of. So who am I to
That's
question?
sweet.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's he's doing something. He's
Yeah.
not doing nothing.
What sucks is my eBay. Remember that eBay page I had that converted like just insane? That like
Um,
learn how to arbitrage or
oh yeah, yeah.
make
The
money with.
video.
Yeah, that landing page, like I was getting like, well, the difference between what I'm doing now, I'm spending like 100 or $200 a day now, but then I was spending like $500 a day and way wider open audience. And that's the thing also that I think a lot of people don't get is that I've been consulting with this company, a very big company in a certain vertical, and they are running all these Facebook campaigns, but they don't have any pixels anywhere. Okay, but they're telling me it's working good for them. Actually, they have a pixel on an email submit. Okay, but they don't have any pixels on anything they're doing to make the money. So I said, okay, number one, let's implement these pixels, and then it takes time to get data on those pixels because they've been running for 6 months. And then I said, well, what's your frequency? And their frequency is like 3. And I'm like, okay, do you realize like you're paying for this ad like 3 times, effectively, maybe 3 times more than if the person just saw it once?
Yep. And is that doing anything for you if once they see it time number 2 and time number 3? Is that really helping you out?
Right. I've always done the best when in starting, actually like best of just like dividing it out, small amount of money, like even like $10, per campaign, and just divide it out. And where I screw up at, and Kevin has seen me do this, and he probably doesn't remember, but I definitely remember these times where what I do, and I make a big mistake, is I adjust the one that's working, and I don't like, I look at the stats and I'm like, okay, females this age are costing me this much, get rid of them, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. And all of a sudden my cost per lead just drastically increases. Now I've messed up my original campaign and I have to go back and it just, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, what did I do? And so, I've gotten wiser in that now I just make a copy of it and then make the changes I want and run that and see what happens. That would be my biggest tip for anyone is patience and
Yeah.
and don't mess with what you have that's got any traction. Use that as the baseline and then try to beat it and then just keep trying to beat it.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I've kind of just learned in the business world. You don't have to remake the wheel. You can just take the wheel and improve on it, or copy the wheel and then improve on it, you know?
Yeah. Well, Dave messaged me. Remember my partner Dave back then?
The developer, Dave?
Yeah. He said that we spent well over $1 million. So
Really?
on Facebook ads. So he didn't know if that was
Nice.
all, because we did it for almost 2 months and we were spending, probably average 25 to, plus a day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is 30,000 a day to $1 million a month. So I'm sure we spent over $1 million. Because I remember Amex called us up and we're like, "You want black cards?" That's like what happened. They called us up and I was like, "What? I'm not paying like $5,000 fees." And then they called us back and they were like, "Oh, we'll waive the fees." And I was like, so then, one of my friends was like, "Dude, they waived your fees?" And I was like, I don't even know what, like I knew like black card, means that you freaking balling or whatever. But I was like, well, like that was when Ty was with me as well. And
yeah, I remember Ty.
Yeah, Ty was always a tight ass about money. And so because that's what he did. He basically ran the finance part and me and I did the marketing part and Dave the development part. We were a good small team. And then for whatever reason, I decided to build these big companies and fuck that. It was an interesting run, but a very frustrating one. I found out what I don't like to do. So yeah, it's okay. So I think it would be interesting though I don't want it to come off like a biz op. That's the only thing. Like I actually do.
Sure.
It's weird. I mean, like, I don't know how I could come at it because I don't really want to. I mean, I could make like a Facebook training thing and then say, like if you find, but I don't think anyone would actually find something. That's the thing. It'd be better just to be like, go on like Stack That Money or whatever and be like, you got shit that's working. You need cash flow to make it work better. Let's talk.
Yeah. I think forums would be a pretty good spot to start off on. I'm trying to even think of, where that audience is, because the scale potential, since your potential client or partner is a pretty narrow niche, and so it'd be hard to scale marketing for that, I think. But
right.
I think it would be really high margin though, and so it'd be at a low scale, but your ROI would be huge, I think.
Yeah, you've got no risk. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the model, basically someone comes here and like, hey, every time I spend $1, I make $2, but I only got $100 to spend. If you can, what can we do? And I fund it and we just split the profit. I mean, makes sense for everyone involved. And then, like I said, like I wouldn't be a dick and lock people into like, I know it sounds weird, but I mean, like with people, if they can spread their own wings, because I always think like that's when sketchy shit starts to happen, right? Or that's when animosity starts to happen. Is like you're like, and then you run into like a dentist situation with you.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Where I don't know what happens with YouTube behind the scenes there, but like I mean, like you were obviously making him a lot of money.
Yeah, I was basically keeping that company afloat and making $35 an hour.
Well, that's not horrible.
No, it wasn't bad, but
see, that's like 70. Yeah, you were making that a month. Well, you were making that shit when we were doing that. Guys were probably making that a week, maybe. No.
Yeah.
You guys were balling. Were you guys just like just blowing it as fast as you could, or were you like putting it away, or because you were young? You guys were young.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was like 19 at the time. Yeah, I wasn't even 21 yet.
That's going to be my pitch right there. It's like I had 19-year-olds come to me and I funded them over $1 million. And
I know, it sounds pretty insane, doesn't it?
well, dude, if you look at the shit I've done, I mean, that probably isn't the most insane thing. I mean, the most insane
Sure.
was I had over 4 million in cash floating to eBay with auction
Yeah.
ads when I sold it.
Mhm.
And that was money I didn't have. Like if they wouldn't have paid me, I'd have been out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, like goodbye shoe money career and a couple million. I mean, that was back when I was fairly new. I was only like 3 years into this. You know, I
Sure.
was like 15 years, well, no, 11 years ago. So yeah, I mean that was crazy back then. But yeah, I think like if so, this guy Larry the Min that's run this thing is basically like he's like, you know, hey, you know, come up, get my free CD, or he's like call. He gives a phone number out in this radio ad, get my free CD. You know, I trade stocks, whatever. He doesn't make income claims, but he's like, you know, I've beaten the market or whatever, and you know, and I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to fund you to do it.
Yeah.
And he makes a good reason why is because there's over X amount of stocks to be traded, and he's like, you know, you can find your niche, which is true on the internet as well. I mean, okay, from a guru like BizOp perspective, this would work.
Mhm.
Like this would
Sure.
work, right? For me to
Yeah.
sell a product that's going to, you know, just show me that you're willing to do stuff, and then I will fund your campaign if you're successful. Because I mean, who wouldn't do that? I mean, it makes sense. Don't steal my BizOp idea, okay?
Yeah, no, I've got my own ideas. I don't need to steal yours.
No, not you. I meant other people.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have a question from David, and he said, "Has the webinar started?" And it indeed has, David. So, but as actually, that's our only question for this show, and I've got a couple other ones, but I'll be honest, they're kind of dumb, so I'm not going to read them. Can you guys ask good questions like when you write in? When you guys are on the live one, so I've split this podcast. Originally, I was doing the Webmaster Radio thing, but the time constraints of doing a live show, you know, you've got to do it in an hour, you've got to do it a certain time, and then we switched to video to Google Hangouts, but then like people want to listen to audio,
Yeah.
So then I like had to convert like the first 9 of these to like MP3s and then get it. I just got it approved on iTunes. And then I made like this sweet intro, and with we've got 3 ads. So David asked a question, even though it has a webinar started. Yes, it has. We have we have Beats by Dre is one of our sponsors, and when you listen to the audio, you'll hear all the ads. If you watch it live, you don't get any ads. So like when I start this off, we have Leads Market on it, and on it the Awesome Supplement Company. And then we have Beats by Dre. So if you ask a question, we take all the questions at the end of the month, we draw a name, and then we send you a pair of Studio Wireless headphones. I normally have, that's why I'm looking around, I normally have mine here, but they are in my wife's car because we just took a long road trip on the 4th of July.
Yep. Don't want to forget your headphones.
I don't know. Those things are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anything that you're finding interesting going on in the industry?
Oh, let's see. Is SEO dead?
What's that?
Did Google kill SEO?
You know, I think Stephen Spencer has been on this program. He was on my Webmaster Radio program like a month ago, and I said, "Hey, we're switching to video," and got away from Webmaster Radio because they couldn't do video. And right away, we got these sponsors, so it was awesome. And so then he came back on into the video one, and I think it's been really his stuff is really good, and he's also he wrote the book The Art of SEO, which is like O'Reilly's Bible to SEO. It's there's other co-authors, but Stefan's the one who updates it, maintains it, and he would be like, oh, you know, but he does everything. Okay.
Yeah, he's an OG.
Yeah. So, um, so basically, it's funny because he's also a master pickup artist. He went to the schools and
Oh, no way.
oh yeah. And he's also done like all the NLP stuff. And I'll tell you what,
Is
if
he
those
is he buddies with Neil Strauss?
he's done that.
No way.
He's met, Mystery, he's met and I actually just started reading the game.
Yeah.
I've only like seen the Pickup Artist TV series, which I still have because I think it's awesome.
It's
But
I just think it's funny to watch like the guys like fail,
oh yeah,
when yeah, it's the best.
I actually I want to go to his school. My
Yeah.
wife would never. Well, I think I could. I actually think she would be okay with it because she told me if I ever got on Big Brother, she'd be okay with me having a showmance. And
Ah,
she knows I'd never get on it, but I've tried for
yeah.
7 years now. 7
Oh
years.
wow.
So I got there's a Big Brother podcast I listen to, and it's like the biggest one. And I actually donate. They do a Patreon per episode, and so I got to know one of the show people who is super connected to like all the production producers and casting companies. So
Yeah.
that was really interesting, and learned some insight about why I've never been chosen. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's just interesting. So yeah, but actually it was funny because it's kind of just like this, people tune in. I didn't really tout. I'll tout your Facebook expertise and blah blah blah. But it's like kind of just start a conversation. It goes where it goes. And
Sure.
so like Stefan, when he came on, we talked like 10% about SEO, and the rest was how to pick up women.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's like what I want this show to be about. It's not like
Sure.
I actually was kind of inspired by Joe Rogan because he brings on these most of the time I tune in and I don't even recognize the names. And then as they're talking, I'm like, oh my God, I know that guy. Like I've seen
Yeah.
the guy in all these movies and stuff. And he had Jeremy Piven on the other day. And
I love Jeremy Piven. He's great.
yeah, I'll tell you who is the best guy on podcasts is Michael Rappaport.
Huh.
That guy, there's a podcast which now is bigger than Joe Rogan's called The Fighter and the Kid. And
Yeah.
it's Brian Callen and Brandon Schwab, Brandon Schwab was a top 10 UFC heavyweight and stopped because his podcast was getting so big. And
Wow.
they don't even talk much UFC, but they brought or MMA in general. But Brian Callen was on like all these TV shows, and they got connected in LA, and they're really good together. Now they tour doing comedy, and it's weird because Brendan Schwab is this big, goofy heavyweight fighter, but he actually can act and is funny. So anyway, with those guys, I was kind of inspired because they have on like all these guests who are, kind of like gurus in their own right, but it's like they really talk about like their life and like, what's up, and not just like basic set of questions of like, when you were on this show, what was this like? So it's just like guys bullshitting. And so far, like we just last week, I think it was Friday, our iTunes thing got set up, and Carolina's episode was the only one on there, and it got downloaded a bunch. So I only told a couple people, and then people spread it on Facebook. So that'll be good. I have no idea what Shallow Williams is asking me. Do I have a problem with HJ? I don't know if that means
What kind of HJ?
this is actually listed as explicit, so I made sure to list it as explicit. So I'm not going to go there, but yeah, yes.
Oh,
so I don't know if I have a problem with HJ. Depends on what HJ is.
Yeah, it depends on the definition.
You could elaborate. Yeah, so our network has been interesting. We opened it up to the world now that we changed it from paying people to do tasks. We totally got rid of all that. So that eliminated a lot of headache and fraud. But
Nice.
And our quality of consumer is so much better. So much better. We have right now like a 3% refund rate where it got up to like 40%.
Oh wow. Is this the Ninja stuff?
Yeah, because people would come in And they would basically like, come in because of the proposition of make $1 in your first, because I pay people, everyone $1.
Yeah.
And then, they would sign up for web hosting and then go through all the tasks and then refund web hosting and keep their, money that I paid them to do the tasks.
Yeah.
So that, I came to this, like, this thing was amazing when I first did it. And then the more and more I got into it, and then we started reaching a lower quality of consumer. And so I think there was probably like rings of these people set up just to do this. Now, I mean, like the last month I did it, I lost a couple tens of thousands. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, I did well with it altogether, but it was clear the consumer quality was very, very low. So so now it's like, it's all there. We don't force you to sign up for web hosting. You can get like amazing email marketing training. I actually thought about doing a spin-off, just complete like email marketing ninja, like, just like complete concept of like, let's get started. Let's set up our email account, but it's optional, and then just kind of do that. And then you could do like Facebook ninja.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Fill that niche. Tell everyone my secrets.
Well, I think I don't see. Here's the thing: like the niche that we found that we really filled a void in, even when we pay people, is there was this percentage. I mean, like there is thousands of people. Like we did almost 40,000 web hosting signups in 1 year.
Wow.
I know. No, it wasn't that much. 20,000.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was.
Which hosting company?
So we spread it around a lot.
Okay. I know you used HostGator, right?
Well, we did HostGator for a while. I think with
Yeah.
HostGator 1 month we did, I don't remember, it wasn't 1,000, but I know Bluehost we had, we did over 1,000. We spread it around a lot, and rotated for conversion. And then we actually started our own web hosting company. Kind of, it's complicated, but and then decided it wasn't for me. So that's kind of like why this whole thing changed, is because I was looking at it and like, okay, but if I had this web hosting company, like, and it went okay, but then we had like, then that's just another business. And here I am trying to slim down everything. And now I'm like almost entering this biggest thing I've ever done, as far as a long-term play.
Sure.
So I just came to the thing where I was like, okay, never mind that. Let's go back to like, I'm just going to take away all the PayPal stuff. Cause that's the thing. You've got to watch. I had one guy take me for $6,000 in like an hour.
Wow.
And through PayPal. And I called PayPal and cause they're in Omaha, right? Like about 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And, I've got some phone numbers, and like not specific people, but like security department and stuff like that. Cause I worked in Wells Fargo security, and then I actually interviewed for a job at PayPal in security, and I didn't get the job for like $12 an hour or whatever. No, it was for like, I don't remember. It wasn't that. It was like $60,000 a year. I don't remember what it was exactly, but they didn't hire me. But I had some contacts there who actually like reached out to me like through my internet career, and like, hey, do you remember me? And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. So anyway, I called there and I said, hey, we got like taken, and this isn't PayPal's fault. Like, I'm not asking for money back. I'm not doing this. I know it was my fault because I had a security hole open and I fixed that, but I want to make sure you're not going to shut me off, because I paid out, like that day was like, I don't know, $12,000 in $1 increments. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I just don't want that to set off a red flag to where you're not going to allow me, because I do want to keep paying out all these dollars. And they were like, no. Yep. And then they refunded me that $6,000. So because they said it hadn't cleared yet. And in fact, going forward, they were like, anytime you find something sketchy, just send it to us and we'll refund you, whatever cash plus your time. Like we'll just, so they've dropped money in there. Like man, you wouldn't think a big company like that would just be so cool and cavalier about it. But
yeah, that's really surprising, because I hear mixed things about them,
If you get to the right people, they are amazing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, like if you are a business And I don't know about other things. Like
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know about eBay disputes, all that other shit. But
Yep.
if you're in a business, like they didn't know who I was or, you know, like what I was doing even, but I just went through their tree, got to their security department and just said, hey, here's what I'm doing. Dude was super cool. And he was like, I got his email and, so I'll email with him, but you know, he, you know, like, it's not like I can say, hey, can you give me a call?
Yeah.
But I'll email him like a CSV of PayPal emails and he'll just deposit cash. And so I said to him like, you know, hey, what's up with that? And he said that, you know, he's like, well, somebody who ripped you off for $1 could rip somebody off for 1,000. You know, he's like, these are hacked accounts. So he's like, you giving us hundreds a month, you know, of these fraudulent accounts, we're very, very happy to pay you to do this.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's helping them out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he basically made it sound like I'm trying to read here. So you said there's a question, what kind of conversions were the students that actually listened getting? And I'm not sure what you mean by that. So I think a lot of people are confused about the product of what the former Shoe Money Network, now Blog Ninja, is referred to as, is that it's a training course on how to get your website online, integrate email marketing, integrate Facebook marketing. And it's basically building you the 3 pillars so that then you can be successful. And if you want to buy some class on doing this, or, you know, it basically teaches you how to get everything started and your foundation set up right, which most people don't. They just buy like a $2,000 product. They buy like a $100 product or something like that. So, you know, with us, I mean, to have a website, you have to have web hosting, and that's what supported the whole thing. So just like, I think people think like it's a make money online offer when, and it does probably appear to be that way when you first go to blogninja.com, but when you actually sign up and you go through it, it's very clear that it's not. And it's like a free, I mean, we don't even make you sign up for a web hosting thing. Now it's just like completely free. You can go through everything. So yeah, I mean, but I do think the whole funding thing would be interesting. So if you take that concept and you apply it to, because it really filled a huge void of like, there's no like free product out there that actually like gets people just set up. Like,
yeah,
or you can just set up a blog, like just walk people through installing a blog, or with our new thing, like if you do sign up through us, we'll install it for you. So the other part of it is like just getting email marketing set up, how to do your signatures right, how to do your funnels right, how to integrate it on your blog, and then social media, how do you get all that integrated? And then at the end, you've got everything working together. You've got AdSense implemented. And I mean, there's really no way you cannot make money if you just do it. Now, you might make a quarter, you know, from AdSense, but I'm just saying, like, it will, all the key pillars will be there, and you never paid me anything for it. So that's what I wanted to build. And I want to do the same thing with email marketing specifically. And it's not really like you talked about, like if we did Facebook Ninja, you know, tips and secrets. So that's like what I don't want to do. But what I do want to do is just help people like we get probably 90% of the questions we get from people is, I got stuck because I didn't know what domain to pick when I was signing up for web hosting. You know, like, I mean, some of them were like, this color is a different color than what Jeremy shows of button.
Sure.
You know, I mean, like, this sounds silly, but it's, you know, like, this is regular people, you know, like, regular people who they're curious about how the world of making money on the internet works. So that's what I wanted to do, is just make something that got them all set up so they can actually have hands-on experience, but they're not out any money, right? Or if they're out, you know, like $3 a month or $5 a month or whatever that equals out to, whatever plan they sign up for web hosting. So, but like the Facebook thing, just to show people how to sign up for it, just to show them, you know, like, and also like from a high level, like, I think because the hard part is like when they change a little something on their interface, then people get back to loss. But for the most part, a lot of it doesn't change too much. So, but I think that would be, I mean, I really like making the training stuff. What I don't like is the support aspect of it. I do listen to support. I've kind of like, I'm taking like a Google approach. Like before we did everything different, like now I'm retaking it over like me. So like I'm looking at support and listening, but there's like 600 people email in a day. So I go over it and I will email some people back, and but overall I just try to improve that process. So if people are confused on one video, then I'll remake it to be explicit on, where people were confused. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, there's definitely potential. Sounds like it.
Are you guys going to Philly Summit East?
Yes. It's like, and it's very end of July, like through the first 2 days of August, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, are you going to be there as well?
Yes, I'll be there. I'm scheduled there from like I want to say the 30th through the 2nd, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
And
yeah, let's grab a beer.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't speak anymore unless I have something to speak about. So
yeah,
that's the difference between me and a lot of speakers. Like I won't talk unless I've got something new to say. I don't give this speech over and over. I hate that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. I respect that a lot more than just, saying the same thing forever.
Yeah. One question I want to ask you is, so like people always say like, what kind of budget do I need to, or like how much before I know that there's something to it or not? And I know you don't work with a lot of small people just getting.
Yeah.
There's
at least a couple $100.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't spend $200, then don't do it because you're wasting your money.
Right. And again, start small. Like,
yeah,
don't say I want to advertise my site. I mean, that's why I want to make the thing, because I want to show people how to place a pixel just to get it set up so that when hey, let's do $10 a month. Let's, do these things. I think hopefully it wouldn't get caught up too much in the thing, but yeah, I want to expand like the Ninja training stuff because I think we did a really good job with Blog Ninja. That's really solid, but I think we could take the email part out of it and take, like we have a Pinterest part of it that's really good, but it gets buried, at the very, very bottom. And yeah. So like, I think like a Pinterest Ninja one would be super solid. And I don't know, like I'd love to have a whole like Ninja suite of training for free.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, for totally free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need to find people that do it. Like I just need to reach out to some people and be like, hey, do you want to be like famous? Because we haven't bought advertising for 3 months and we're still getting 400 or 500 people double opted in a day. So we were getting like 2,300 and about 70% US. I mean, our US is ridiculous. It's really good.
That is.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and I really appreciate it. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks those joining us and those listening to the podcast. For those also, go to iTunes, subscribe. These automatically be delivered, and they'll help you feel good on your commute to work or whatever. So until next week, we'll see you later.
Okay. Real quick, can I plug something real quick?
For sure.
So I just created maybe like 3 months ago with two buddies. We released our first song on Spotify.
Really?
And yeah, it's a remix of this other like electronic song. And I met the artist at a show, like randomly through a friend of a friend who knew this guy, and was just talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, you should remix our song." And the original artist was the Manufactured Superstars. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or seen them, but they're kind of a big name in the electronic scene, and so he asked me to remix his song, and the label put it out like 3 months ago, and so
that's awesome.
No, it's fun. So the band name, our group is called Jaguar Knights. So that's Jaguar, Jaguar, and Nights just Nights. So you search that on Spotify. You can find us.
Need like a Jaguar Night, like a cat.
Yeah, we need some sort of like go-to sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, Jaguar Nights, and you'll have to give me the link and stuff, and we'll put it in the replay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I really appreciate it.
One thing is, Jay-Z and Kanye, how they're not releasing their albums on iTunes.
Yeah.
You know how Jay-Z founded this one site and is doing everything there. Have you seen that? I forget where he's released.
I've heard of it, but I don't know the specific site.
Well, supposedly, this is a big rumor right now.
Yeah.
Is that I don't even want to look it up. The big rumor is that Apple is going to buy this site and make a platform where people can release their own music.
Yeah.
Very similar to how Amazon has made it amazingly awesome to write a book.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge gap in the industry. So it's definitely a needed service for sure.
Yeah. I think there's probably people doing that now. Is it easy to put your shit on iTunes for sale?
I've never done it. I mean, I know people that do it. I don't think it's that difficult, but the problem that I run into is I'll like remix an Adele song or something like that, and I don't have the licensing to put it out. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll come up with this cool thing that I want to put out, but SoundCloud and iTunes, they like won't let you release it. They'll just like ban you if you put it out because you don't have the license to do it. And so that's what's really struggling right now in the industry.
That's weird because forever, like before iTunes had the Beatles in,
there
was nothing but Beatles like remasters I guess they're not. So I mean, like, isn't there like a percentage you have to change and then it's considered like okay?
I don't know. I think it's a gray area.
Huh. Well, there is law on that. Yeah. Because I mean, these people will come out with stuff. I guess maybe some have licenses, but I bet those licenses are a shit ton.
Yeah, it's all really crazy expensive to get an official license.
Cool. At least on YouTube, if you want to use music, you can just use it and it links to their song. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least that's cool. Maybe they'll do something like that with iTunes. All right, everybody. Thanks so much.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks again, Jeremy.
All right. Thanks.